One of my right hand man, he was coming to drive me to pick me up. He pulls up next to me, and I was gonna get in the car with him. But before I got into the car, I heard a voice, and the voice said to me, "Put on your seatbelt." And I sit in the car, and I put on my seatbelt, and my friend looks over to me and says, "Choby, why are you putting your seatbelt on?" And I told him, "You need to put your seatbelt on too," because he always would drive me, and he knew I never wore my seatbelt. So he puts his seatbelt on too, and we're going down the street, and my friend's driving super fast. And there was a car in front of him that was driving fast also. And all of a sudden, that car stopped. And when that car stopped, my friend put the brakes on and started to fishtail. So the car started to slide to the left, to the right, to the left, to the, and then all of a sudden, I thought to myself, I know how fast we're going, and no matter what we hit, this impact's gonna kill us. And so I remember thinking to myself, Jesus, please save me again. I thought there's no other way I'm gonna survive this car crash. And I felt this bump, and then I blacked out. After I black out, when I open my eyes, I see these leaves all on the windshield. And then I look over to my friend, and I see that he's going through a seizure, and he has blood coming all down his head, all down his chin, dripping like a stream, you know. And when I look in front of me again, I see this massive pole that was past my head, and it scratched my head. So this massive pole went through the windshield. It scratched my head, and my head was leaning sideways. And I remember thinking that pole almost straight up decapitated my head. But all I could think about was getting my friend out of the car. So I popped my seatbelt off, and I opened the door, and I fall, and I hit the ground super hard. And I thought to myself, man, I don't know where the car is because I fell from like maybe like 10, I don't know, 11 feet of height. I don't know exactly how high it was, but it was pretty high. And I get off the floor, and I look at the car. And what happened was the car, when it fishtailed, it jumped off the sidewalk next to it, and it actually suspended in air, and it landed in a tree. And there was two branches holding up the car, and the front of the car hit the roof of this village house. So the car was partly in the tree, and the front of the car hit the structure of this house. And so then these people from the village started coming out, and they brought my friend out of the car. After we get in the ambulance, and we get to the hospital, my friend was going through some head surgery. And I remember in the hospital, I was thinking to myself, there's no way we were supposed to survive that car accident. For a car to jump off a sidewalk and land in between two branches side by side, and the car was completely snugged in between the branches, and the pole to miss my head, I thought this was only the act of the grace of God.